My name is Tiffany and this is my channel, Who's Your Handmade. Thank you so much for stopping by today. In today's video, it's another episode of #Friday Sews. If that sounds interesting to you, stick around. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you will consider subscribing before you leave. I would love to get to know you better and welcome you into the sewing community. And thank you so much to each one of my friends who are tuning in again today. Thank you for taking time out of your Friday to spend it with me. It means so very much to me. This is an episode of #Friday Sews. Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room started #Friday Sews. Thank you, Jen, for starting that hashtag and sharing it with us all. So I do want to start out my video by saying I was absent last week. I did put up a community post and I talked about it just for a second on Tuesday's video. I do want to say a very heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you who left such kind comments during our time of loss. We did tragically lose our beloved pet, Ida. She was a wonderful dog. We loved her so much. She was a member of our family, and we've been mourning her loss this week, so it's been tough. Last Friday I just was not in the headspace to make a video and talk about sewing, but sewing has become something of a refuge this week. It's had some ups and downs that I'm going to talk to you about in just a second, but for sure I've went up to my sewing room a lot this week to find some solace and find some peace up here in my sewing room. So thank you so much to everyone who left a comment or kind words or said you were thinking or praying for us. It means so very much to me. Behind me on my clipboard, you can spy a new little piece of fabric. I did lay her to rest with some fabric that I had in my stash. I'd meant to make her a coat. I'd meant to make her a fleece coat, and really she had no need of any man-made coat. She definitely had enough fur to keep her warm, so I never got around to making her the coat, but I did clip off a little piece of that fleece to remember my sweet Ida by. So just want to say thank you, and let's get into my sewing week. This week in the sewing room has had its ups and downs. A lot of downs, actually. I've not had that much luck in the sewing room this week. Maybe it's the frame of mind that I've been in. Maybe I shouldn't have been sewing, but I did give my Pattern Emporium Sweet Cheek sweater a try. It's sitting right there beside me, and this one has turned out to be an epic fail in my opinion. I tried to go for the V-neck option. I have never done a V-neck option, especially in like a sweater knit with a band, a neckband. Pattern Emporium has really good instructions, very descriptive, a lot of photos showing you how to do it. So the pattern is not at fault here, it's me. It's definitely user error. So I did go ahead and use that somewhat slinky knit. You can kind of see it there for the neckband. And someone had suggested that I interface it to make it a little more sturdy. And I did do that with knit interfacing, and it did become a much better fabric to sew with. However, using it as the neckband, it needed to stretch quite a bit there on the front sides, and the interfacing just did not allow for the amount of stretch that it needed. So I had some issues putting in that neckband. It's not perfect. I'm not going to point out every single thing that's wrong with it. The V turned out okay, actually. I followed the instructions step by step, meticulously following the instructions, and that turned out okay. It was just a stretch of the neckband did not work out. But then the absolute no-go, absolute kicker of this pattern is that I made a length way too short for my body. I chose the cropped option thinking from the diagram that it was not going to be this cropped. Let me just scoot out of the way and scoot her back. You see how cropped it is? Oh my goodness. It doesn't it barely comes below my belly button. So definitely not gonna work, and it is a shame because this sweater knit is a nice sweater knit from Fashion Fabrics Club. I do like it, it's really soft, but this one is headed for the bin. I hate to do that. I hate to trash any kind of make, but I've been very frustrated with this make, and I think it's just time to move on. So the interesting thing about this pattern is that it has a split hem. Let me see if I can move her back even farther and show you there. The split hem is down here, and it's really kind of pretty. It's a pretty detail. The front band and the back band are not connected. You attach them to the back and then you attach them to the front. And that was kind of interesting. That was fun. A little bit finicky to try to get your, your V to look right there on the side. It has a dropped shoulder, which I also was not aware of. You see my seam right there. Drop shoulder doesn't look that great on me. What can I say? What can I say? Just gonna chalk it up to an experience. It was definitely an experience. So that is what I've been working on all week long, trying to perfect that and get it right. So now, like I said, that Pattern Emporium Sweet Cheek Sweater pattern is good. I think it's a good pattern, and I do think it has good instructions, but I would definitely not suggest the V-neck option or maybe even this pattern in general for a beginner. As a beginner sweater that you want to try, there was a lot of very tricky things that went into this sweater, and obviously I was not even successful with trying them out. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm never going to make this pattern again. Just because that version did not work out, I would like to try another version. I would even like to try the V-neck again. This year I'm supposed to be branching out and challenging myself. So maybe in the future I'll pick this pattern up again, but for now, I'm gonna move on. I need some comfort sewing coming off of that sew. I need something that I love, something that I know is gonna work out. So I picked out 2 fabrics from my stash that I had for my little girl. This one is a super cute camping theme. I've showed this one before, I think, on my channel. This is from the Joann's Pop line. It's kind of a juvenile line, but they have beautiful fabrics in there. A lot that I would wear myself. They're not just for kids. This is their interlock knit. I love making Addie's PJs out of those, so I have that one. And then this one I found in the 60% off bin a while ago. So this is a pretty interlock knit with the stars. So I'm gonna make Addie a few new pairs of the Ellie and Mac Grow With Me pajamas. I talk about them all the time. That is the pattern that I love for her, but she has sized up. So at Christmas time, I made her Santa jammies in a 3T, and now I need to make her a few more in a 3T as well. So that's what I need. I need some comfort sewing. I also have pulled out this beautiful sweater knit, and I think this one is super popular in the sewing community right now. I've seen a couple people make stuff with this sweater. This sweater knit, beautiful, beautiful fabric, and it has a fuzzy inside. Let's see if I can show you the fuzzy inside. Beautiful. So I would love to make a sweater for myself. My favorite sweaters are the Sew House 7 Toaster Sweater and the Simplicity 9240. So I'm gonna choose one of those probably to sew up a comfort sweater sew for myself that I'm going to love. So those are some sewing projects that are coming up that I'm really excited about. I'm excited to not lose my motivation or my sojo after a non-win. So I'm excited to keep rolling with my sewing. I did have a birthday over the weekend. On Friday, it was my birthday, so we went to my parents' house on Sunday to celebrate. And when I go to my mom's, I always like to have something to do with my hands. A lot of times we sit around in the afternoon and we chat and we visit together, but I love to have something to do with my hands, like keep myself busy. So Mom shared a favorite pattern of hers, a crochet pattern that she's been obsessed with doing, and now I've caught the fever for doing. These are so fun to make. I'm going to try to link the tutorial down below. I don't know if it's a blog or if it's a video. Mom is going to send me the information. But these are really fun hot pads or trivets or whatever you call those things that you put under a hot pan on your table or on your countertop. These are so much fun to make. So simple. These are just single crochets over and over and over again. You have 2 layers. So you see how there's 2 sides. Let me show you one I have in progress. This one I did on Sunday, and this is one that I've sat down and started this week. So this one is almost complete, but here's how it opens in the middle. You just crochet in a circle. You just keep going with those single crochets in a circle, and your line, your beginning line, starts to curl in on itself, and that's what creates the 2 corners. And then you just continue your circle, and then you'll eventually close it up. So here is my open. It looks like a pouch. I've got my string in there, and then you make a little hook on the end if you want to, and then you're good to go. So all I have to do now is to sew it up with the leftover yarn, and this one will be ready to go. So there is some size discrepancy. I'm gonna see if I can hold it up here. A little bit of size discrepancy because I'm just using scrap yarn, whatever scrap yarn I have. Now Mom likes to use 100% cotton yarn for this. This is the brand that she likes to use, or any kind of cotton yarn. This is like this is called Sugar and Cream. This is what this one was, and I have used almost the whole skein of yarn for it. That's what I have left. So I'll need a little bit of that to sew it up, but it does kind of help you get rid of some scrap yarn if you have laying around, and these are always useful. I find hot pads always useful to have around in the kitchen. This one is just some simple acrylic, I think it's acrylic, yeah, 97% acrylic, 3% viscose yarn. Had this in my stash. This was a new unused skein, and that's how much is left of it after making the hot pad. So if you're interested in this fun crochet pattern, you don't have to think about it. It requires almost 0 brain power. So it's really fun to sit down in front of the TV or with a movie, or if you're sitting and chatting with friends and need something to do with your hands. This is a really fun pattern. Before I leave you for this Friday Sews, I want to share a really amazing gift that a viewer sent in. This is from the lovely Mrs. C from Rhode Island. Mrs. C, I did not see your first name anywhere in your sweet note or on the packaging, so sorry that I can't address you by your first name, but thank you so much for such an amazing package. She sent some lovely doll clothes for my little girl. I don't know how she knew, but this is the year that we purchased Addie an American Girl Bitty Baby for Christmas. I love American Girl dolls, and I wanted to start her out with her very own Bitty Baby, and these clothes fit her perfectly. I had to go gather them, actually. Addie's already been using them and dressing up her little baby doll. So thank you so much, Mrs. C. Darling little hats. There's a little jacket. Isn't that cute? A sweater, a really darling red sweater, and then 2 beautiful dresses. Red with some little underpants, how darling, and this little blue dress. Love these. Thank you so much. Addie was so excited to get these. That's probably my sign, actually, that I need to get going on clothes for her baby doll. I need to give that a try. So thank you so much, Mrs. Seed. She also sent me a giant box full of children's patterns. Thank you so, so much. There are so many in here that I can wade through and find for Addie now or as she grows. So thank you so much for your kindness, Mrs. C. Thank you for thinking about me and my little girl. It was absolutely so kind of you to take the time and the expense to send that to me. Thank you so very much. Okay, I think that's gonna do it for this hashtag Friday Sews. I had a little bit of disappointment in my sewing week this week. Those are the ups and downs of sewing. going. That's okay. I'm gonna pick myself back up and I'm looking forward to fun future makes. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Let me know down below in the comment section what you'll be doing this weekend. Do you have any sewing plans? I would love to chat with you. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.